Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of In a Forest, a Deer, a short story by Ambai. The story was originally written in Tamil, and Ambai's original name is also Dr. C.S. Lakshmi, and she writes under the pen name of Ambai. In this short story, she brings out the sad plight of a female called Thangam Attai. And the problem with Thangam Attai is she did not get her menstruation and did not have a functioning womb. She was abused by her in-laws and given many medicines to start her periods or get the womb to begin functioning. Like they would take her to all the doctors, they used all the medicines. If one new doctor comes to that place, definitely they will take her there and she will be given treatment by him. And they also used many other methods. They thought if she gets frightened, then maybe her menstruation will start. So they sent one person who was fully covered in black dress to go and frighten her, and as expected she was frightened. She was frightened to that extent that she fainted and fell, and she fell on that stone which they use for washing the clothes, and she got severely hurt in her forehead, and that mark is still there. And after that also she did not start menstruation, and they also did not stop giving her all the treatment. And later on they decided, okay, she will never bear any child, and so they thought that her husband Egambaram must be married to another girl. On hearing that her husband Egambaram was looking for a second wife, Attai tried committing suicide by swallowing arali seeds, which are very poisonous, but she was saved. And after that, she herself stood forward and she got her husband married. And through that wife, they have 7 children. And Thangamattai lived a very peaceful life after that, because now they were no more tortures or taking her to the doctor, giving her medicines and all that. And she spent her time doing the housework and being with the children and giving them telling them bedtime stories. And actually she used these bedtime stories to convey to the young children the plight of women, particularly who cannot mature into a woman. In this story, we find Valli. The narrator is one person, and Valli is an older cousin. And the narrator has heard Valli telling about Attai, that Attai had never blossomed. And she has heard the elders also saying that Attai was hollow. And only because she is an empty vessel, the empty vessels will not reproduce, so they are of no use. But Attai is a warm and generous, but yet a mysterious person. And in this, we find descriptions of pillows covered with dog cloths filled with cotton wool, with knots and lumps in the cotton wool. And this indicates the story concerns itself with Attai, who had never got her menstruation. And Attai is said to have a very auspicious hand. Even though she could not give her husband a child, she blesses everyone through oil massages and gentle stroking. And through her touch, miracles will happen. And not only that, cows will milk if she touches them, and if she sows any seed, it will become into a wonderful plant or tree, and everything transformed by her touch. Even the close relatives who used to talk about her infertility, when they were in labor pain and when they were going for the delivery, they wanted none but only Attai to be near them, because they felt if she is near them, they will deliver the baby safe and even they will be safe. And from the way the in-laws have tried many medicines, we understand that Attai's parents had not told the in-laws before marriage about her periods, and they had got her married off. And of course, when Attai came to know that she was to replace, she has to get down to replace another bride in her place, she was really upset first, and Egambaram pleads with her after her suicide. And he says, okay, I'll even stay without getting married. But she then changes her mind and she herself searches for another bride for her husband. And through that bride, they have 7 children. And it is Attai who takes care of all the 7 children and other family and the cousins' children. And she takes care of them as though they are their own. And they are the pride of Attai, and she never gets tired of taking care of them. One night the children ask for a bedtime story, and Atai tells a story of a young deer. She says that the deer was very happy in that forest because it had its family, and in that forest there were no fire, there were no hunters, there were no animals which can harm them, and so they lived a carefree and a very happy life. But one day a young deer lost its way and went into another forest, and this forest was totally strange. It could not see any familiar animals, and on the trees all it found the marks of the hunter's arrows, and it was so scared it went wandering searching for the way to come back to its own forest, but it was totally lost. And in fact it even saw one hunter cooking the meat of the animal which he had hunted. It was so scared that it hid itself, but it did not know how to go back to its forest, so it kept on roaming in this forest, and slowly it got used to it, and finally it started seeing beauty in that forest also. It started seeing other animals. In fact, even saw a honeycomb there, it saw waterfalls there. It really started enjoying and found that forest was its home, and now it lived a very peaceful and very happy life there. And in fact, through this story, Atai was telling her own story metaphorically to the children. And children hearing the story, they went to sleep, and the story ends here. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.